Alright folks, and welcome back to the channel. We're back after the international break as Celtic return to action on Sunday. We'll be discussing the game, also discuss the next steps in the Celtic fans collective. I'm joined by Alistair to go over this. Alistair, we've tried this video. I don't think was going to come out at a point, but we're here, so.
We're here and we're always here, mate.
We may as well just get straight into it. Obviously, on Thursday night, we had the second fan meeting of the Celtic Fans Collective, where basically the main kind of action that was brought from it was this retail boycott, not another penny. And I just would like to say about the whole Fans Collective, that was the first time I actually attended a meeting. And to be honest, it was just good to be in a room with like-minded people who are, just wanting the best for the club. We didn't everybody didn't always agree with every single point, or whatever, but it was a um, democratic, discussion, and
Debate.
aye, and so it was obviously good to get along, and obviously it's just people who are, really had enough of this board, like what we've said and whatever else. Obviously, as I said, the main thing to come from it was this retail boycott, which I'll put up on screen now. It's the Not Another Penny boycott. So it reads as follows: following widespread agreement among member groups at last night's meeting, the Celtic Fans Collective is launching Not Another Penny campaign effective immediately. For too long, the Celtic board uh, has taken supporters for granted. They are responsible for the repeated failures in Europe, an archaic transfer strategy, a collection of Neds who have grossly outstayed their strategy. Welcome, inflated ticket prices, and unfair distribution, and a neglected um, stadium, a stale atmosphere, an non-existent fan engagement model, an underperforming academy, underfunded women's team, and a pitch unfit for playing football the Celtic way. These are just some of the failures which expose an out-of-touch board and make a mockery of everything they claim to be world class and everything we do. The next page. The contempt for support was laid bare in the recent insulting public statement of the 6th of September 2025 and confirmed again in last week's well-documented meeting between the club and the collective. Our support for the team remains unequivocal, but our protest against the Celtic board, and in particular Michael Nicholson, Chris Mackay and Peter Lawwell, that Not Another Penny campaign is the next step in that effort. From today, we commit to no more merchandise purchases, no more food and drink at Celtic Park, no more stadium tours, bars, restaurants, or club run events, nothing beyond a match ticket. The campaign will be reviewed on the 3rd of February 2026. Until then, not another penny. Alistair, I think it's a pretty clear message there. The fans have had enough.
Yeah,
The fans have
I'm
had enough.
rightly so, Josh. We've, uh, cards on the table. I thought this was the way to go because the only way you're going to hurt them is in the pocket, and and I think that we need to get around. They only answer questions to Adidas, and that would be a very awkward conversation. That one year into a 10-year extension, and they're already going down. So that, that obviously people are going to buy them. You can't avoid that. But if we can get maybe 50-60% down, we're doing well. It's serving its purpose. But no, something has to get done. And I'm all for the boycott, and I think you are as well.
No, I'm all for um, anything that can get this Celtic board out, because I'm going to be honest with you, I can't be arsed with Celtic at the moment. I'm and people might say that that's bad and that's terrible. But at the same time, I look at it and go like that. There's a complete lack of excitement at this club at the moment, and at the end of the day, that's down to the club. The club have done that since the start of the season. They have seeded that doubt of just complete negativity towards the club. And I know people will sit there and say you don't want to feed them in the park, but unfortunately, it's just human nature. It's going to feed onto the park. They seeded that doubt at the start of the season with that shambolic of a summer window. They get rid of our main winger, who say what you want about him, Nicholas Kuhn. Say, oh, he had a good 6 months for that crap. We've not replaced. Well, I'd rather Nicholas Kuhn half-arsed than what we've got now, unfortunately. They replaced, in my opinion, our best strikers since Henrik Larsson and Kyogo and Jangri never replaced them. They sold Adamida, who I thought was pretty useless, I'm going to be honest, but then didn't replace him. I sit and say Iniacho, but let's be honest, it's a fucking panic. Well, let's be honest here. Let's know.
Let's be honest, it was a free agent.
And I'm hoping that Iniacho is a panic it's worked. But no, it's not good enough. Even if it does work, the Celtic board just getting away with it.
It's more work than design.
Exactly. Just coasting by. Now, I've heard a lot of things, and I'm going to say this, because a lot of people, I think most people, are blaming the frustrations at the board, rightly so, in my opinion. I'm not going to tell somebody what they have to say and what they have to believe, but anybody, in my opinion, who is blaming Brendan Rodgers, I have been a big critic of this season in terms of his tactics, and sometimes that's fine, that's on the park, but off the park, you cannot deny that he has been completely shortchanged. He's been completely shortchanged. And before you sit there and blame the manager again, look at our managers over the year. It's constant asset stripping. They constantly asset good teams. They asset stripped Ange's team when obviously Ange Postecoglou left. They asset stripped, never replaced them. They've asset stripped Brendan Rodgers' team, never replaced them. Even the Invincible teams, they asset stripped to a point, never replaced them. And then in that third season under Rodgers, the football was turgid and it was crap because the players we had were unfortunately crap, to be honest. So this is what I'm trying to say here. This is a pattern.
It's strategic. They take the team so far and then they whip it away and they start again.
No, am I saying that Celtic shouldn't be selling players? No, I'm not saying that, because I know that's part of our model, that we need to sell players, but it's not acceptable not to replace those players. You replace them, like we've done. Like, I'm trying to think, who have we replaced? Edward Kyogo. Sold Edward for about 12 million quid.
I think it was more like 16, 17.
And then replaced them with a £5 million striker. That's fine. That's how the model should work. But at the end of the day, this board do not care. And anybody there's people still out there, and this is what I'm going to probably break from what I said earlier on about everybody's entitled to an opinion. I don't know what to say to you if there's people out there who still think this board are fit for purpose. It's over, it's done. Enough's enough. Fans have had enough. Fans are getting treated like customers, and they're getting absolutely rinsed for their loyalty to the club.
With people's emotions, Josh, and it's not right.
Aye. So don't, in my opinion, don't go to the Celtic shop and buy this £200 jacket, this £70 for a football. Please don't, man. And I'll continuously say it. I can't tell you what to do and what not to do. I don't speak for the whole of Celtic support, but enough's enough. And I've honestly, you mentioned a bit when we first spoke about it. You mentioned a bit about trying to get maybe doing a few percent. I think there needs to this narrative that, with the Celtic collective, it needs to go away from me, is this whole narrative of, oh well, if everybody does it, it's a failure. No, because
probably the Disney date is a failure. You mean?
Aye. If everybody Disney date, it's no. So say like 80% do it, or 60 or 70%. Say that. I'm pretty sure people will still go to the Celtic shop. You're not going. That's not what we're asking. We're asking for people for them, because they will, as you said, Alistair, they'll see, when the sales are down, they'll see when the sales are down and they have to, go to Adidas, come knock on the door. They can't shrug their shoulders to Adidas.
No, because Adidas will just say, see your money that we promised you is down. And that's where we've succeeded then because people say, and I've heard this argument as well, you're harming the club. No, let me put this straight. They harm the club when they've no armed manager after manager with the tools for the biggest games of the season. Nine times, 6 out of the last 9 we've been parked out the Champions League by teams we should be beaten because we've been unprepared. We've no respected the competition. We've turned up, we beat them enemy and ended up with egg in our face. That's not the manager. That's the board no respecting European football. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go off in one here and say, do you know, this board can't be arsed with Europe. Europe's a pain in the arse to them. But they'll charge you top dollar to go and watch it, and the product on the park's getting worse.
Yeah, no, definitely. Another thing they can't be asked with is us. Can't be asked with us. They hate us. They hate their own support. Their own people that sit there and their biggest backers.
People that bankroll them.
We don't back them. Bankroll's a better word, probably. Bankroll them. Put these big bonuses they get in their pockets. No, enough's enough. So what I would say to people, see, instead of buying the pies at the stadium, if you want to go and buy a pie at Celtic Park, you go and do it. People only can come up to you and go, oh, you're buying a pie, how dare you? No, it's still got. But just go to the fucking independent vendors for your pie, chips, or whatever. Go to fucking McDonald's.
And a good point somebody made to me, the good thing and what my hands up to the collective for this can last and last and last. Whereas the silences, for example, a lot of people, that's harder to do in the long term. You can keep doing this until they finally get the message. So this is long lasting, what I would say, Josh. So that's that. And everybody can do this without getting, whether you choose to do it, you don't have to declare, oh, I bought a ball for my kid's Christmas. You don't have to declare that. So, but as I say, man, you just need to, everybody can do this. Everybody that wants to do it will do it. Everybody that doesn't, it's up to you.
And that's personal choice. And I think there's things with the collective and people who try and, say, oh, I'm not, with the collective and stuff, and people, they don't speak for me. Well, nobody's saying they speak for you.
It's a collective. They don't speak for anybody. It's a group.
The Celtic collective is a group of supporters who, like me and the other signatories, and probably and other just normal supporters, are people who aren't at podcasts or supporters group, whatever, who want to make change at this club. It's about time we had some sort of fan group, and that's what I took when I went to the meeting on Thursday. That's what I took for it. I was like, right, do you know what? We've actually got a place where we can go and speak to somebody, like speak to people who can actually take our concerns forward to the club, because like me and you are only going to get invited to a meeting with Michael Nicholson to tell them that they're doing a terrible job. But these people, are like stuff like the Celtic Trust and whatever else, the steering board that they've put in place. They can go forward and they can go forward to the club. We saw that last Monday. Now the meeting was a shambolic mess, but they were allowed to get their points across. But they were just getting their points across to a brick wall who couldn't give a flying rat's arse.
The PR exercise, as far as Celtic are concerned, they never took the meeting seriously.
It was bad PR.
Proves to me that they're so far out of kilter. It's unreal.
Aye, no. I'm going to rehash what I said at the meeting, and I basically just said that there has been a lot of things about, oh, we don't want to harm the team. We're not harming
They're
the team.
harming the team.
And this is the thing. They're not just harming this team. They've harmed teams. They harmed as far as back as 2004. They've harmed teams. They have harmed teams. They harmed Ange Postecoglou's teams in terms of potential asset stripping. Left Ange Postecoglou with a mess as soon as he walked in the fucking front door. They sabotaged the thing with Lennon as well. They done stuff like that. Another one.
The manager.
Neil Lennon needed to be sacked during the COVID and be taken out of the situation, and they didn't look out for him and go at that. No, we've got to take you out. They just kept persisting with Neil Lennon, and so what I would say is there's only one group of people that are harming this football club. It's not me and you sitting on this podcast right now. It's not the Celtic collective. It's not all the other Celtic organisations. It's not the fans who go to the games. It's not the fans who sit and watch the team in the house. It's that bunch of absolute Tories that will milk this club dry in terms of and their supporters, and they will sit there and say, buy your £200 Adidas jacket. And the other thing, but just to finish up in this segment, this whole rubbish of the club don't dictate the prices, right? I can understand that, right? So if the club don't dictate the prices, then right, we'll go with that then. So the club still get retail sales. So we get £30 million in retail sales last year. Where's that money been invested in? As that statement politely put it, we have got a stadium that's falling apart. We have got a playing squad that I think is not up to standard. Personally, I think we're a few injuries away from. We've already seen it this week. We're obviously Maeda, but we'll get into that a bit later on. The playing squad's, I think, quite bare. The women's team, as it said, underfunded. I don't particularly watch women's football all the time or whatever, but they were a team that won the league and they've been nowhere near it since. It's completely underfunded. The youth academy is just a disgrace. Underfunded. They'll sit and say, oh, we'll build that big Barrowfield. That's great if it gets used for something. That's great. That's well done.
See the Barrowfield. I know we've got Lennoxtown, but Barrowfield, if you're building a 20-30 million pound training ground, right? Surely that should be for your first team.
It doesn't matter who it is for. It's just the fact of, it's all about the complete neglect, and they try and sit there and say, so where's the £30 million going then? If you want to sit there and go on the thing, or Adidas don't, that Celtic don't have anything to do with it. Fuck off, man. I'm sorry, but you're insulting. I don't even know how to put this, but I don't really know what to say. I don't. But these people at this club are just destroying the club.
They're taking you for fools.
And when people notice it? When Brendan Rodgers leaves in the summer, right? When he leaves, because he will leave, he's not staying at that, is he? Fuck. You seriously think he's going to stay? No, not a chance. When he leaves in the summer and then we get replaced with somebody who's maybe not as vocal as Brendan Rodgers, I think Brendan Rodgers could be a bit more vocal. I'm going to say it. I think he could be a bit more vocal. But are you seriously telling me when somebody like Sean Maloney, and this isn't who's come, or John Kennedy or somebody like that, comes in the door, or somebody like that, like a yes man, who'll just say, right, you just say all the right things, that's when you'll realise when this club starts to go downhill. Because you've not got the driving force like Ange or, Rodgers, who wanted more. Lennon was a yes man who just towed along the line.
That last week.
Dyer, I think, I don't think he towed along purposely. I think he was just.
Dyer always happy to get the Celtic job.
Aye, pretty much. Aye. So another and the complete content, as I said, that they treat us as fans is is ridiculous, and it's not. If this was any other club, it'd be a complete disgrace. It's ridiculous. It's a disgrace. Don't buy anything off them. Don't give them another penny and hurt their pockets, because that is what needs to be done. Because that's the only time they'll actually care when that gets done. And they know about us, because with that minute silence against Braga, they Brendan Rodgers came out and says then had a meeting on the table with the collective that day, and it's like,
aye.
So they know fine well about it, because they don't
And
want
they
to be
don't
embarrassed.
they love, aren't we doing a good job, a good image?
Aye,
So
no,
hurt them with that.
personal image, and financial. That's the way you're going to ever get at a Celtic board. They don't care, if we sit silent at a game. They don't care.
They don't.
They don't care about the atmosphere. They just care about bums and seats and a good image when the UEFA cameras roll up. That's all they care about. So please don't buy anything off them, because we need to start hitting our pockets and impacting them financially, because enough's enough. Fans have had enough, and fans are sick of just getting absolutely taking the piss out of. But Alistair, moving on. We'll move on to the actual football. Dundee and Sunday at Dens Park. It's just a chance to get obviously back after the international break. We need it's a must win game for us. We need to get the 3 points against a pretty poor side, I think.
Yeah, I think because of the way the Murrow game ended, Josh, we need to come out flying, try and kill games early, but above all else, win games, and you've got 7 games in 21 days, I think it is.
It's a busy stretch.
Try and win as many as you possibly can, man. And you take because I'm going to say this, you need to be respectful of Hearts, because you don't want to be going to Tynecastle next Sunday, with it with 2 games between us. Then it gets really dangerous. So no, you need to get out. You need to hit the angry. You need to get in, get out, win the game, preferably with a bit of style. Let's be honest. If Aberdeen can put 4 past Dundee, there's no excuses for Celtic.
No, definitely. I don't think there's any excuses. We did get that result against Motherwell, but at the end of the day, the performances this season have been pretty. I don't think have been great at all. To be honest with you, but I do expect Celtic. They have to come out. They have to put an authority on the game, and it needs to be. They need to get off to a good start. They don't get off to a good start anywhere near enough in games. We don't. I think we scored 1 or 2 first half goals this season, which is not acceptable.
I think it's one goal, and that was the penalty with Kalechi and Acho. I think the other ones have been second half goals.
Oh no, Negrin scored at Aberdeen in the first half.
True.
With the 2 or something, I don't know. But anyway, there's no been.
You're right.
There's no been, and that's not acceptable for a Celtic team. Celtic are renowned. Last season, when we were coming out and we were getting teams, first 15, 20 minutes, getting goals before half time. It's not there anymore, and that needs to change. Hopefully, the international break helps them and whatever. But I really struggle with the attacking impetus in this team, unfortunately, at times.
I think, to be honest, Josh, see the start of the last season. That's as good a football as I've seen a Celtic team play.
Because it was quick and it was incisive, and we're passing with purpose. Now it's just really labourish. I would say it's really.
It's passing for passing's sake at times.
No, it is. But no, we
no,
need to come out with a result and a performance. That's what I would say. I'd say I want a performance as well,
yeah,
because
yeah, you need to because you can't keep scraping results. It catches up with you.
that stuff does catch up with you. So,
Really.
um, but Rodgers also obviously confirmed that Dyson Maeda won't play because he picked up an injury in the Motherwell game. We kind of thought that because he never played for Japan during the international break. Paolo Bernardo's apparently sick, so you won't play either. Not that that changes anything.
No, I
To be
don't think
honest.
Bernardo would have played anyway.
But no, what we'll do is I'll get the team up the new and have a look through it. I've just went with Casper Schmeichel and goal. I went with Alistair Johnson, Cameron Carter Vickers, Liam Scales, Kieran Tierney, McGregor, Real Hatati, Benjamin Negrin, Balaquisha, Taneke and Kelechi Iheanacho. Alistair, you've went with the same goalkeeper back four. You've changed the midfield up, which I'll go into in a second, with Engels, McGregor and Hatati. And then you've got the same front three. Alistair, what was your thinking behind the midfield, obviously, with the two kind of looks on paper deeper midfielders, but I don't think they'll be with Engels and
No, well,
McGregor.
see, to be honest, mate, I decided to put Engels in because um, I honestly think he turned the Murrow game when it come on, and it'll be fresh because I don't think he was away with Belgium,
No, he doesn't look
and
cool.
and it'll be ready. I think he deserves a chance. That's the midfield I would like to see. Because Niguin, I don't know, he he kind of flies to the CV. You don't know what you're getting yet with Niguin, and I do like Arne Engels, and you know that midfield three that I picked good enough, Josh. So and the front three picks itself, and I'm glad to see AJ back. So I'm glad he's back because I think we've missed him to be fair. Because he gives you that bit of bite, and our team's more than good enough to win the game. That's the team I think Rodgers will pick. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple in there.
I I think with the midfield for me in this squad at the moment, I don't really know where it's at. I think Hatati's for me flatter to deceive. McGregor flatter to deceive. Negrin's stats look good, but I just still think he could do a lot more in the game in terms of getting us up the pitch or whatever, or getting us forward. Engels doesn't get a chance, which seems Bernardo, as I said, he's ill, so no play, but he's been frozen out, it seems, anyway. So the midfield's, I just think there's no midfield there. I think it's non
No,
existent.
I think it's like spinning the wheel of fortune when we're picking the Celtic midfield, to be honest with you. Because I don't think Rodgers knows his best midfield.
No, I know, and that's dangerous when we're in October, and if you don't know I don't think Rodgers knows his best team. And we're sitting in October, that just goes back to the shambolic window. I'm pretty sure if Rodgers got his targets in for striker, maybe I think Taneke, maybe Balaguer were, options. Then he would know he's settled 11. But the problem is he's not got the players that he wanted because of this board, and that's what I keep saying. I said at the start, it all goes back to this
See,
board.
to be honest, I mean, if you're playing, if you're playing, if you're signing two left wingers, of course it's going to be lopsided. Again, noticing like a broken record, it's this board. Who's brought in two left wingers when we clearly needed one on the right, a striker, and one on the left?
Aye,
But as usual, it's been sheer panic.
it's been a panic. It's been a
We
panic,
left this.
and it's been obviously what it's been left with. And it's yet again, as I said, it's no they don't need to pick a team. It's the manager and the players that need to deal with their farcical recruitment. and their farcical, spending of cash and spending of money, which they're completely inept of doing. But as I said, I think the team on that pitch is still good enough. Iñárritu's obviously picked up a bit of form. Should have probably won more goal than what he's got that goal against Braga, which I mean honestly it's honestly one of the worst decisions I've ever seen. Tereki, I think, the raw materials are there. I just think it's obviously trying to get put.
Maybe it's coached.
Aye, but at the end of the day, I look at it and go, you can't exactly expect him to turn into the second coming of Christ
No,
just because we
like-
panicked.
he's a young player, and it's showing great potential.
Aye,
To be fair, it's no Balaquisha, it's no Iñárritu, and it's no Taneki's fault that they've been
No.
falling in right at the last knockings of transfer window and expected to pick up the ball and run with it.
no, it's the Cubs' fault. It's the Cubs' fault, completely. It's the Cubs' fault for just not thinking. But I think Taneki's been good. I think the raw materials are there, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah,
He looks.
even Balaquisha
Aye.
against.
It's a
and
big
I've
game
been
for him tomorrow, I think.
very critical with Balaquisha, but he did produce the moment against Morrow for the winning goal. So hopefully gets a wee boost for that and is ready to fly, Josh.
Aye, it's a big moment for Michel-Ange Balaquisha tomorrow if he gets a game, which I hope he would. If he doesn't, I'd be a bit concerned. Because, I think fans are a bit indifferent with him, but if he can get a good performance tomorrow, then people can actually see what he can bring, then that's obviously good. To finish up, Alistair, we'll do the score predictions as we usually do. I'll go first and I'll just say 2-0.
And I'll say 4. Like I said, when we were meant to record this last night,
Aye.
but no, I do think it'll be quite comfortable, Josh. I do think, cause let's be honest, I think Dundee are the worst team in the league, and watch this get clipped if it comes back and bites me. But I do, and I can't be two-faced. So I think we'll win reasonably come. Maybe that's what I'm hoping for, Josh. I'm
Aye.
hoping that Celtic come out flying at a team.
I think that's what the
they
team.
are,
I
to be fair.
think that's what the team needs. It needs a good performance in there, especially ahead of Stuttgart on Thursday, and then obviously got to Tynecastle, which probably will be a
Big
big
week.
game. Aye,
Well,
'cause then
arguably the Hearts game's bigger than Stormglass. They're all big, but
I think they're equal. I think you realistically we don't beat Stuttgart, I think we're out of Europe. If you want my honest opinion.
definitely.
So I think
On a bus, but we'll go on to Stormglass for the week.
but we're it's a massive. This is a massive kind of month period. Well, like a few week period. As you said, you've got 10 games in a really short space of time, and then obviously you've got that semi final against Rangers at Hampden. So, but I think we just need a good performance against a pretty poor side. I'm going to be honest with you, and hopefully get the 3 points, and obviously just be
Being no worse off.
be no worse off going out that game against Hearts next weekend. But I'm going to wrap it up there for the Dundee preview. We'll be back as I said for the match reaction on Sunday. Hopefully talking about a Celtic win. Sack the board. Don't give them another penny. All that sort of stuff. Until next time, we'll speak to you later. And hail.
Hail.